Hi, my name is Josh Thomas and I'm with eServices, and we specialize in the merchant services industry as well as other utilities like natural gas and electric. I've decided to make this video just to kind of help the agents that are working with me in the merchant services and utilities industry, but to be honest, anybody that is working any type of sales or any type of networking company would benefit from the information in this video. Now today we're here to talk about the 5 steps to a sales conversation. The 5 steps to a sales conversation are as follows. Step number 1 is going to be your introduction. Step number 2 is going to be your short story. Step number 3 is going to be the presentation. Step 4 is going to be the close. And the last step is going to be your rehash. Before we go any further, I would like to stress the importance of knowing how to hold a conversation, but especially a sales conversation. What if I told you that knowing how to hold a conversation would have a bearing on your level of success? Research was conducted by the Stanford School of Business where they tracked MBA graduates for 10 years after graduation. And what they found was that their GPA had no bearing on their level of success. But what in fact did was them knowing how to hold a conversation. In fact, the most successful of those people were those that could hold a conversation with anyone from strangers to their secretary, to their boss, to even their customers. Knowing how to hold a conversation shows a person that you are intelligent and confident, which brings me to my next point. Other research was conducted that shown intelligence and confidence were the 2 single most important factors for 60% of all respondents. Okay, so the first step we're going to talk about is going to be your greeting and introduction. Your greeting and introduction is the single most important step because this is what's going to set the tone for the rest of the conversation. Folks, you've got to remember that your customers are going to be judging you before you even have a chance to speak. So what you say next or how you do it is either going to make you or it's going to break you. Now, one of the first things that you want to remember to use during this step is going to be your icebreaker. Icebreakers are a great way to relax your customer and even relax yourself. The second thing that you want to remember is to use the C principles. The C principles just simply mean smile, eye contact, and excitement. As you're talking to your customer, you definitely want to smile, and I always remember to use the mirror effect. More importantly, maintain eye contact. Eye contact, it establishes trust with your customer. Alright, besides that, who wants to talk to anybody who isn't looking at them or acting like they're paying attention? And then finally, the next thing that you want to remember is excitement. If you walk in, you're talking to your customer, and you act like you're bored, your customer is going to be bored that you're there. Folks, you got to remember again that excitement, it is contagious. Alright, so when you walk in, you're talking to your customer, you're smiling, you're maintaining eye contact, don't forget to act excited. The second step that we're going to talk about is going to be your short story. Now, a few things to remember during this step is the KISS principles, which means keep it short and simple. The second thing you want to remember is to qualify yourself. And you could do that by who, what, and why, but more importantly, you don't want to get too lengthy with this. Keep it about 10 to 15 seconds. So for example, hi, my name's Josh Thomas. I'm with eServices. I'm just wanting to know when the last time was that you had a rate review. And then the last thing that you want to remember is to qualify your customer. This is the most important step. And you can qualify your customer just simply by asking open-ended questions. The goal is to get your customers talking to you. The more they're talking to you, the more comfortable they are with you, and the more that they actually trust you. Alright, and then finally, the last thing to remember is ask yes, yes questions. This is also pretty important because asking yes, yes questions gets your customer in the habit of saying yes. That way, when you get down to the presentation, you're done with it, you give the close, your customer is more apt to saying yes. Just remember, if you ask the right questions, you're going to have exactly what information you need to arm yourself with as a salesperson to go into the third step, which is going to be the presentation. The third step that we're going to talk about is going to be the presentation. Your presentation is going to be the meat and the potatoes to this whole conversation. If you followed the short story right, qualifying your customers, you're going to know exactly what information to present to your customer and what information to leave out. One thing you want to remember is to put the product in your customer's hands. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Another thing to remember is to use the circle method. People only remember the first thing that they are told and the last thing that they are told. You don't want to over-present and give too much information. Too much information, you're either going to lose your customer, and once you've lost your customer, it's hard to get their attention back, or they're going to forget it anyways. Alright, so don't give them way too much information. And you want to show the value and stress the deal. And then finally, the last thing to remember as you're presenting is to help paint the picture. Alright, it is your responsibility as a salesperson to help your customer see exactly how this product or service is going to benefit them. Remember, nobody wants to buy anything that they don't feel like they're going to use or even want to use. The fourth step that we're going to talk about is going to be your close. During the close, one of the things you want to remember is to use your ABCs. Your ABCs just simply means always be closing. Sales is kind of like a game of basketball. If you never shoot the ball at the basket, nobody's ever going to score any points, therefore nobody's ever going to win. That same concept applies for sales. If you're giving information but you're never taking a chance and asking for the sale, just giving information, you're never going to close any deals. Alright, so you got to remember to always be asking, always be closing. The next thing to remember is to close with confidence. Again, going back to one of the first things that we talked about, people enjoy talking to people who are intelligent and confident. Alright, now as you're closing, as you're talking to your customers, as a salesperson, it's your responsibility to listen and watch for buying signs. If they have questions, objections, concerns, anything like that, stop, answer them, and then go for the close again. When you're closing, you also want to remember to use the Jones effect. The Jones effect is really nice because it creates an impulse for buying. Nobody wants to be left out. And then finally, assume the sale. And this is a pretty important thing. You never want to go and ask your prospect or your customer, are you ready to buy? Because if you do, you're going to set yourself up for failure. And your prospect or your customer is just going to tell you, you know what, no, I need to think about it, or no, I need to talk to somebody else about it, or whatever other objection that they have. Don't set yourself up for failure, just assume the sale. So for example, I'm in the merchant services, I do my presentation. When I'm done doing my presentation, hey Mr. Customer, it sounds like this is going to be a fit for you. I get my application out and I look at them and I say, okay, your exact business name is what? And I wait for them to tell me. If they're not interested, they're going to stop me. They're going to tell me, hey, whoa, I'm not ready to do this just yet. And it's my job, again, to go back, answer any objections that they have, and then go for the close again. Finally, the last step that we're going to talk about today is going to be the rehash. Rehash simply means remember everyone has another sale hidden. Folks, you got to remember that your customer is already in the buying mood, so you don't want to stop at just selling the one product or service it is that you're offering. Sell any add-ons, accessories, or extended warranties that you offer and double your cash. Alright? Do this by pitching multiples of 2, 4, and 6 and going for the gusto. You want to be direct with your customer and you want to stress the deal. Most importantly, don't cut yourself short and don't cut your profit short. So to recap everything for the 5 steps to a sales conversation, step number 1, the introduction. Use an icebreaker, use the C principles. Step number 2 is going to be your short story using your KISS principles. And don't forget to qualify yourself and to also qualify your customer. Step number 3 is going to be the presentation, which is the meat and the potatoes of the whole conversation. Remember to put the product in your customer's hand, use the circle method, and help paint the picture for your customer. Step number 4 is going to be your close. Remember to always be closing. And then finally, the last step is going to be the rehash. Remember, everyone has another sale hidden. Again, my name is Josh Thomas and I'm with eServices. I would just like to take a moment to thank everybody for listening to my video. I hope that it helps, and I hope that you learned something. If you have any questions or comments, or if you'd be interested in even joining my team, feel free to contact me using the email address listed below, eservices@gmail.com, or use the website, www.eservices.com. Again, thank you, and have a great day.